Warning. The language used on The Real Rush may be offensive to some viewers. Don't say I didn't fucking warn you.
It is before us I crown this Afro pick as and rightfully dub thee the Tenacious dub pick of destiny. What does all that bullshit that I just sang mean? It means bang your head to the opening riff.
Shut up and sit down.
No people, even those who love to hate. The Real Rush is episode 98. Oh, sick of coffee. John D.U.B. I've been to H-O-U-S-E. What? I know how to rhyme E, y'all. Good for me. How y'all doing? Welcome back to The Real Rush episode, and welcome to episode 98 of The Real Rush right here on YouTube. Yo, we gotta go ahead and get straight on down to some business here in this episode, y'all, because we have some actual breaking news here, if I may say. It won't be breaking, as I always say, by the time you see this episode, hopefully sooner rather than later. You know, with the processing times and shit, hopefully they're a little bit improved over last weekend. I do apologize for any delays or any, like, where the fuck is episode 97? Well, it was on the way and it came, and thank y'all for watching that shit. Thank y'all for tuning in to episode 98 now. We got some breaking news as of today when we filmed this joint. It's like 5 something in the morning, Saturday, August 8th, 2K20, as we film this joint. Breaking news right here as of when we were writing the treatment on our insanely expensive Rushtron note, or Rush Pad, iPad like, but it's Rush Pad instead of it's Rush. Booyah. So it's gonna be like Rush Pods and fucking Rush Pads and Rush Movie and Rush Tunes. Oh, that's a good idea. A patent pending on all them shits right off the bat, straight up and down. Breaking news, as of about 15 hours ago, a U.S. judge has granted an immediate end to the Paramount decrees. And I know you're probably sitting there saying, what in the blue fuck are the Paramount decrees? Excuse me, not degrees, decrees. I'm going to break it down for you right here. Well, this is a law that went into effect sometime in the 40s. Sort of like an antitrust law, alright? It prohibited vertical integration, block booking, and circuit dealing. And we're going to break down exactly what all this means here in just a second, according to what we read just a couple hours ago on Cinema Blend. So what this means is, as far as vertical integration goes, this means that now, if they wanted to, major movie studios could buy into major theater franchises and shit. So, for example, instead of AMC and Universal having this weird rift between them up until a couple weeks ago finally reaching a deal, that's like Universal buying into AMC or buying AMC theaters. Or if like Warner Brothers bought Regal theaters and Disney bought Cinemark, so on and so forth. You catch my drift? So, that being said, if they could do this, then they would be able to show their own movies at their own theaters, and more than likely solely at their own theaters, which could cause for territorial problems as well. If you really think about the broad aspect of it all. Next up, though, block booking. So, this means that now movie studios could bundle their movie packages, quote unquote, together. So, for example, they could rent out the license or sell the license, however it goes, to AMC theaters or the theater chains, but like a certain blockbuster. So we'll say like, I don't know, I'm looking at my DVDs over here. Let's say Pineapple Express. Let's say Pineapple Express. That was a sleeper hit, but we'll call it a blockbuster because it was an unexpected sleeper hit. Pineapple Express. But along with getting that movie to play in your theater, you also have to get their B movies, which they're more or less like burning off, like the movies that they know aren't going to fare too well at the theater, hence they can go for like cheaper prices at the theater and such. So on and so forth, circuit dealing. This means that now theater chains could block smaller chains from access to movies. And this goes back to the whole like, well, what if Universal buys AMC or Warner Brothers buys Regal or so on and so forth? Or what if something happens between, so what if that does happen and there is some type of rift in between the theaters? So let's say that Universal bought AMC and Warner buys Regal, and they're still allowed to show each other's movies, yet somewhere down the line there's a rift between Regal and AMC. That could cause one of the two chains to refuse to show any of a certain studio's films. And this could potentially harm independent theaters, seeing as in they're not tied to any like big name chains as far as theaters go. So I'm still a little cloudy, I guess you could say, on this myself. Like, I can see where this is, we're pretty much what's being laid out here, but just, learning the whole history behind the decrees and things of that nature, that I'm still learning up on, because I didn't even know that something like this existed until the news broke just a couple hours ago. So, what are y'all's thoughts on this to my movie people out there? Especially at a time where it's make or break about the future of movie theaters already, as we know it. That's already, I don't like saying the term, but we're going to go ahead and throw it out there, uncertain. So, with this going down, what's everybody feeling on this? We shall see. There is a 2-year what's called sunset period as of now. So it doesn't go into immediate effect. That means that studios have 2 years to get their shit together and basically try not to go back to the old way of doing things, how they used to do it in the pre-1940s era before all this went into effect. So that's interesting. I'll definitely do some more looking into this, and we'll keep this going into episode 99 the next week. I don't want to take up too terribly much time of that, but thanks to Cinema Blend for the info on breaking it down on 3 takeaways. If y'all want to look for that article, I will post that in the description as well. But next up, Mulan. So it looks like that's going to go straight to Disney Plus. Now, alright, so I've got some conflicts here. I read that it's going to skip theaters entirely and go straight to Disney Plus, but that it could possibly drop regardless, on September 4th, for both streaming and theatrically, that one would be the more interesting of the two, and possibly the more infuriating of the two. And we'll say why there in a second. So this is going to Disney Plus, right? So just in the same vein as like Artemis Fowl went straight to Disney Plus, and Hamilton went straight to Disney Plus. We got that joint a year and some change early. So if you're a Disney Plus subscriber, that means you should automatically be able to see Mulan, the new joint, when it drops on September 4th, right? As a Disney Plus subscriber, right? No. They are going to be charging subscribers a $30 unlock fee on top of your subscription fee. So what the hell does this mean? This means that you as the viewer, you pay $30. This does not entitle you to rent the movie and or own it digitally. It just unlocks the content for it to be available on your Disney Plus account. However, and this almost broke my brain again upon rereading the note, there's a great chance that come like Thanksgiving time or maybe like Christmas time, when Mulan would normally be dropping on Blu-ray or 4K or any other digital format for home media purposes, this would already be made widely available at some eventual point. We're not saying that it would happen at that point, but eventually, minus the $30 unlock fee. So what's up with that? How y'all feeling on that one? To my Disney peoples out there. So that means that anybody who wants to see Mulan, if they skip theaters entirely, not only has to subscribe to Disney Plus, but they got to pay a $30 unlock fee on top of that. And that's more expensive to go into the theater already. So people who are already complaining about not going to the theater and why they weren't going to the theater was because of the fact that they were saying that it was too expensive. What are y'all's feelings on this right here? $20 per movie for a rental, like we've been doing this whole lockdown shtick. I can get down with that. $30 to unlock it though, even though it does grant you access. But for that, I would feel like I would want it in. I would like to own it in some type of format. Like I don't want to just unlock it for that price. I would like to own at least the digital copy, if not send my ass a copy of at least the Blu-ray in the mail, so I can cop that disc. But given the looks of the trailers, though, this is made for the big screen, and given the fact that I also read, like I stated a couple moments ago, this could possibly be both streaming and theatrical. I mean, if it were to go that route, like, would that be some type of, and this is just my thinking out loud here, some type of ploy there by Disney, so to get people back into theaters because they wouldn't want to pay the potentially $37 fee just to watch it on Disney Plus, since you wouldn't be able to watch it as a free Disney Plus subscriber, right? Like for the free trial period or whatever. Would that get people back in the theater because it would be cheaper? Just my 2 cents on that one. So thoughts? Is Disney jumping the gun with this type of model? I mean, they pushed onward to Disney Plus just because theaters were shutting down. Families needed something to watch. That was a great move on their part. Artemis Fowl, I think that still would have done somewhat well in the theaters. I personally do. At least the first weekend. Good move on Disney's part to drop it on Disney Plus. Sure, I'll buy that. Hamilton dropping for July 4th weekend. I'll buy that. At least these were all no added charge. Mulan and a $30 unlock fee. Yeah, let me know how y'all feel about that one. Would you pay $30 for a home viewing? And once again, that being expensive, more expensive. At least that's $30 for one home or for one household. It's not per person. So technically, it's more expensive than going to the theater. I say it's more expensive because usually it's just me, myself, and I with my De La Soul loving ass going to the theater. Hence the less expensive, the more expensive part. But let your boy know. Let your boy know what you think about that one right there. And last but most certainly, check out a French theater owner destroying the Mulan display upon hearing the news that it was skipping theaters. Like, this dude is pissed. So yeah, check that shit out. And yeah, enjoy. Walmart, last but most certainly not least on the news front, is going to be offering free drive-in movies at 160 of their locations starting on Friday, August 14th. Holy shit, that's fucking awesome. So check their website for locations and details on that. I already checked and ain't nothing in my area, in the Rush area, doing that shit. So, but we'll keep checking on that shit. Maybe we'll change it. In the meantime, that does wrap it up for the news portion of this episode. Now let's get on down to the brass tacks of the four movies. Four movies? Yes, four movies that I got reviewed for y'all this week. I know I said 3 last week. We missing one of those. One of those we already said was questionable. If you came here looking for the review of Words on Bathroom Walls, well, if you're looking for a good time, you're going to have to fucking call Tyrone. You better call his ass and say, "Where's my movie review for Words on Bathroom Walls?" Come on, come on, come on. That's what you're going to have to do because that joint ain't dropped yet. So, apologies on our part, even though that's beyond our control. But if you came here looking for that review, my bad. To you, we will have that as soon as it does become available. So what do we have here for y'all here? In the 4 movies that we got reviewed for y'all in this week's episode's Real Rush Ticket. I want to kick things off with the HBO Max exclusive new dramedy with our boy Seth Rogen in it twice. This joint is called An American Pickle. And I really hope that you have access to HBO Max because this, as far as I know, this, like I said, I think I said this a couple moments ago, it's exclusive to the HBO Max app. I'm not sure if it's going to be airing. I'm sure at some point it'll air on HBO and or Cinemax. Yet I digress. This is the new dramedy starring Seth Rogen in dual roles as Herschel and Ben Greenbaum. Now this tells the tale of Herschel, who upon immigrating from Eastern Europe to the United States in 1919, falls into a vat of pickle brine, which is sealed, and it preserves him until he reemerges 100 years later. The premise sounds aloof as fuck, I know, but it gets better. It does. So he obviously emerges to a completely different world and finds that he has only one living relative, who is his great-grandson, Ben, who teaches Herschel about the new world while learning valuable lessons about himself, about kinship and family along the way. This joint, an American Pickle, and this is why I say that I hope you have the HBO Max app to watch this shit, because this is really well done. A great balance. This is based off of the short story by one Simon Rich here. There's a great balance of comedy and drama with a dark twist that is thrust somewhere upon the mixture. So, that's not giving anything away there, and you don't know when it's coming. So just, and when you think you know it's coming, it's not coming yet. So there you go. Rogen absolutely shines in his dual roles as Herschel and Ben, maintaining some of his Roganish signatures. I mean, that's what makes Seth fucking Rogen, man. He's Seth fucking Rogen. So, be Seth Rogen. Keep being awesome. But, he does add some more heartfelt depth to his performance in An American Pickle. Speaking of heartfelt, this movie is that hilarious and much, much more. So overall, this joint is a must-see. That's why I say yo ass must have HBO Max right now to watch this joint because that's the only way that you can see it. It is far from your average Seth Rogen flick. And I think it's suitable for the whole family. It's PG-13, but I think it's suitable for the whole family. It's nothing too, what most would call like Rogen-esque. It's nothing too, it's not Sausage Party, that's for damn sure. So, and make sure you stay through the ending credits. So, American Pickle, check it out. It's a really sweet dramedy, y'all. And yes, I did find myself tearing up at a point or two. That's not a digression, because I really did. Next up on this episode's Real Rush Ticket is a documentary that I checked out Thursday night. This joint is called, and this is one that I've been waiting for a long time. Not just this one itself, but just a documentary about this man. I've always been intrigued by the man who is Danny Trejo. This joint is called Inmate Number 1, The Rise of Danny Trejo. And this is a new documentary that chronicles the life and career of the renowned and now one of the most widely recognized actors as he tells his own story firsthand, detailing his journey from childhood to struggles with drugs and the law and incarceration at San Quentin to becoming one of today's most respected and inspirational, motivational entertainment figures. Like I said a couple moments ago, I've always wanted to know this man's backstory. So hearing his firsthand accounts of everything that Trejo has been through to ultimately redeem himself, makes this movie into outstanding or beyond outstanding documentary territory. And I know I keep saying this for like every documentary, like this is one of the most important or this is the best documentary of the year, but I gotta say this for Inmate Number 1 as well. This is one of the best documentaries and possibly one of the most important documentaries of the year as well because of the message that comes with it. This includes accounts from fellow actors and filmmakers such as Sir Robert Rodriguez, Michelle Rodriguez, and Donald Logue. Overall, Inmate Number 1. This is this week's main event, y'all. Well worth the rental price on your VOD service of choice. No matter your struggles, watch this and just listen. Just soak it in, because you can pick your ass back up. You fall down or get knocked down. Show this for educational purposes, I say. Inmate Number 1, The Rise of Danny Trejo. All respect due to Mr. Trejo, the man. Keep doing you, baby. And yes, I shed a tear or two during this one too. So yeah, it's that kind of documentary, y'all. Don't just keep it on your radar. Snatch that shit. Next up on this episode's Real Rush Ticket, new David Ayer joint. This joint is called The Tax Collector. The Tax Collector, Holmes. This stars Bobby Soto and Shia LaBeouf as David and Creeper. And what do they do for a living? Well, they collect taxes from other area gangs for the crime lord of their gang, known as the Wizard. Now, when an old rival shows back up on the scene, David must fight to protect his family and all that he holds dearest. Don't believe the negative hype on this one, yo. This joint right here, The Tax Collector, is a good ass watch. I would expect nothing less from Sir David Ayer. Proven once again that he is the king of a genre that I don't think that it exists yet, and hopefully it doesn't, because I'm about to coin it, and if it does, sorry about that, I will not coin it then. But I'm calling this shit Street Grindhouse. And what that is like the gritty film style of telling no holds barred tales from the street. And I call it such because movies like this remind me of exploitation flicks from the 70s. Like that type of genre. Like that type of grittiness. in the way that the story is visually told and how it unfolds on screen. Yeah, this shit is a good ass watch. Shia, once again, holding it down with his superb acting range. I mean, even Stevens, y'all. Even fucking Stevens. Badass in The Tax Collector. The action in this shit is pretty well done. And definitely not for the faint of heart. I mean, this, once again, David Ayer. This isn't him doing like Suicide Squad or anything along those lines. This is him doing his street shit. Training Day, Dark Blue, Street Kings, End of Watch, which I named one of, if not the best movie of 2012. I may have seen some more 2012 movies since then, but yet I digress. Overall, so if you dug any of those previous movies, the aforementioned movies that David Ayer either penned and or directed, then this joint is for you. It falls in the same vein as all of those. Def worth the $8 rental fee. The Tax Collector, out now. Check it out. Once again, that's coming from your man, John Dub, not some little bum you hear fucking complaining about the shit online about it all the time. Some little whiny ass crybaby who didn't like it for all different type of reasons that they didn't get and blah blah blah. No, it's coming from your man right here. Just watched it on the insanely expensive Rush Tron 9000 just a couple hours ago. I'm telling you right now, that shit is a good ass watch. Tax Collector, y'all. Shit. Got me fired up in this piece. Let me take a little sippy, and we gonna get right back to you from the Canada Dry Cranberry Ginger Ale. Cause I'm drinking it, they paying for it. Frigga late.
I am watching you poop.
Frigga late. Shit. What you gonna do about it? Frigga dig it. What up, Pride? Yes, sir. Last but most certainly not least on this episode's Real Rush Ticket. This joint that I didn't even know was dropping this week. I didn't even know it existed until not only it dropped, but that I found out that it was a movie. Because when I saw this shit pop up on Amazon Prime Video, I thought it was a miniseries. I said, alright, I'll put it on my list to check. Just because of the fact that I saw Rosamund Pike's face on it. And not only is she a beautiful actress, but she's one of the possibly best actresses of the last decade, at least, in my honest opinion. IMHO. And anytime I see her face on something, I'm instantly sold. Alright, what we about to watch here? I'm in. But I found out that it's a movie. And I said, ooh. So that's a technical drop for this weekend, even though it's not listed on Wikipedia's. You know what? So what does constitute a drop at this point? Because I would have considered this like a major release. I didn't hear anything about it until it dropped yesterday or 2 days ago. This joint is called Radioactive. And this is the new biopic, and we'll use the term biopic loosely. You'll hear why here in a couple of moments. That is based on the graphic novel by Lauren Redness. And once again, this stars the overly gushing with talent and beauty Miss Rosamund Pike as world-renowned scientist Marie Curie. And it details how she, along with her husband Pierre, Pierre is played by Sam Riley. It details how they discovered polonium and radium, forever altering the course of science with massive impact. As we all know, at least we learned at the very minimum in like high school chemistry class, young. And massive impact for both positive and negative, as well as her struggles for proper credit and respect at the time of these discoveries due to the fact that she was a woman. Pike once again, putting on yet another Real Rush clapworthy. I haven't given a golf clap out here in a couple weeks here. At least I don't think so. But yes, deserving of the Real Rush golf clap of the week for putting on a magnificent fucking performance, Miss Magnificent Pike, Miss Magnificent Rosamund Pike. Yeah, we already said that she should be recognized as one of the best. She should be recognized at least as one of the best actresses. And once again, in the very least as of the last decade. I loved the quote-unquote unconventional narrative that this film provides. And I say air quotes around unconventional because not only does it do it via flashbacks, but also via flash forwards throughout the film that show what the Curie's discovery in radioactivity brought to the world as we know it, at least within like the last 100 years. Well, within the last couple of 100 years, but like the creations that have come from it, such as X-rays and cancer treatment, but also, like I said earlier, negative things such as like the atomic bomb and fucking Chernobyl and shit like that. Plus, I also loved, speaking of visuals, I love how this film is visually conveyed. And, man, it looked like it would have been awesome. It would have been an amazing watch on, like, an Angelica screen or Cinema Art screen or some shit like that. And I think this was actually supposed to come out theatrically a couple months ago, but we all know what the fuck happened with that shit. So, but yeah, some scenes in this make brilliant use of color and lighting and special effects in ways that I can't even verbally describe. You have to see them to get what the hell I'm looking at, because they pop off the screen, or even just flush with the screen, or even depth-wise in certain ways that I don't know. I can't fucking describe it. I can't. And other scenes looking like that they came straight out of an oil painting. And it's just the way that they were filmed. So, obviously, the cinematography, brilliant in this. Now, Radioactive is catching some flack here for some historical, or from what I read, quite a number of historical inaccuracies, as called out by some professor at like Cornell or something. But now, as we all know here, your man Dub is a movie buff, and I will stand by that with conviction and confidence until the day I die. But, however, your man is by no means, or any stretch of the means, a history buff. I know some shit about history from what I was taught in school. But to call myself a history buff, no. So, that being said, I can't accurately state whether or not the quote-unquote historical inaccuracies detract from the overall quality of the film or not. So, to my history buffs out there, to my education buffs, or my educational peeps out there, who happen to be in the science field and, or maybe, studying chemistry and all types of shit, or more even detailed, studying the works of Pierre and Marie Curie. And have seen this shit. And have seen this movie. What are y'all's thoughts as far as accuracies versus inaccuracies go? But regardless of all that, overall, I still thought that Radioactive was a damn good watch. Once again, I wish I could have seen it on the big screen. And I still think that this would be suitable for educational purposes. It would just be up to the teacher's discretion after the movie or before the movie, or maybe even during the movie. Because I had some awesome history teachers back in the day, like when we watched Glory in my American history class in high school. My awesome history teacher, who also happened to be our high school football coach, paused the movie at one point to show the kid the digital watch when they were waving at the regiment as they were leaving. They didn't have no digital watches back in the Civil War, but that was a funny one. But he would also stop the movie at certain points to break down important parts, so on and so forth. So the point I'm trying to throw out is it would be the teacher's job, I would think, to set the record straight on truths versus inaccuracies if wanting to view this for educational purposes. Aside from some nudity in it, which is one of the more painted scenes, I should say, I don't see any reason why this wouldn't be suitable for it's PG-13, so boom. There's your fucking crowd right there, man. Peep it. Radioactive. It's free on Prime. Check it out. And that, my gentle snowflakes, is a wrap for episode 98 of The Real Rush right here on YouTube. Means within the next 2 weeks, we'll be reaching the throes, the mountain, top of the mountain, that is 100 episodes up in this piece. But we still got one more episode that stands in between you, us, and episode 100 over the horizon now. That's episode 99, y'all. It looks like we're going to have 2 movies on the ticket for y'all next week. But again, that could change, as we know things tend to do around here, especially as of late. But those 2 movies that we shall have reviewed for you, we got Project Power, which does sound dope as shit. I read the premise for that earlier today. That does sound and look dope as shit. I've seen the trailer for it, so I can't honestly say look, but from the poster of it, it looks dope as shit. And we'll have Magic Camp. This is my kissing booth. Oh yay! Can't wait to check that shit out. Or it could be good. I don't know. I tend to be surprised sometimes on shit like that. Said the same thing about Desperados a couple weeks back. So we'll have those reviewed for y'all. Episode 99 of The Real Rush. Next week here on YouTube. But in the meantime, as always, check out what my fellow bandits are doing online, since we're gearing up for our next third Friday of the month show, coming to y'all online virtually on August 21st. I'll put the info and stuff at the bottom because I don't know it fresh off the top of my head. I want to make sure that I got the info straight for y'all as far as like time and shit goes. But you can also do the same, keep up on that by subscribing to our website, liking us on Facebook. What's our website? That's stagecoachtc.com. Once again, that's Stagecoach. T is in Tom. C is in Coach. I almost said T is in Coach. C is in Tom. But you know what the hell I mean. StagecoachTC.com. And you can find us and like us on Facebook. Stagecoach Theater Company. We're the ones in Ashburn, Virginia, y'all. Check out all of what we have to offer, because there's plenty there for all ages. But our shit is definitely not for everyone. And if you watched any of The Real Rush up to however long into this episode, what's our F-bomb count? Already up into this? Already. The 40 minutes that we've gone into this fucking episode so far. So chalk another one up on that shit right there. But yeah, give us a look-see and boom. That's what yeah. Yep. There you go. Come check us out virtually until we make an impact back in the theater where we can start having live crowds again. But also in the meantime, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, for The Real Rush goes, for your man here, any shit like that, feel free to type those on into the comment section of the YouTube page where you're viewing this week's episode right here, right now. To everybody who has been viewing The Real Rush all the way up to this far, even if you don't subscribe, even if you just view just solely off of the previews that you see off of Facebook and Instagram that are posted on a weekly basis, or if you subscribe to The Real Rush here on YouTube, if you fall under that umbrella, thank you for having done so. drive me to keep doing this week in, week out. Striving, grinding for y'all. Over 400 movies reviewed thus far here on The Real Rush here on YouTube. Over 400 movies, and we about to be on 100 goddamn episodes. What? So yeah, thank you for keeping this love train going. People all over the world, everybody join on the love train. You're damn right. So yeah, speaking of love, as a matter of fact, well, first off, even if you ain't subscribing and or watching The Real Rush, I still love you, but what the hell are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button so that way you be the first to know when your boy drops a new episode. And then now we get to the actual love, even though you can't be physically hugging and touching up on everybody that you want to these days. You still be spreading love. And in that matter, when you spread that love, just tell a motherfucker about The Real Rush. So like, hug a motherfucker and tell them about virtually hug a motherfucker, send them a virtual hug, poke them. Do people poke people on Facebook anymore? I don't know. But don't do that, because that is kind of odd. But yeah, send out the love and the word of The Real Rush in the same manner. Just let your people know about your man John Dove and what he brings forth to the table as far as infotainment weekly comes on the horizon. And don't forget that The Real Rush does have replay value. Any movie that you want to know what your man Dove thought of and get a good honest to God review on, all you gotta do is go to the top of the YouTube page here, don't just look in the search bar, type in the search bar, in quotation marks, The Real Rush, followed by, outside of quotation marks, the name of the movie that you're looking for, and then boom, it's the movie review on demand for you. Because The Real Rush and your man John Dove got y'all covered for life, son. And as always, you can follow your man Dove on Instagram for my live movie check-ins and updates and fried chicken as they occur. And you can follow your man at JDub Champion, hashtag The Real Rush. And for The Real Rush, JDub Champion, I am your man John Dub. Once again, thank you for tuning in to episode 98 of The Real Rush right here on YouTube. Hopefully you enjoyed yourselves. Hopefully this once again brought you some infotainment. Hopefully everybody's out there taking care of yourselves and, taking care of one another, staying healthy, staying safe, and, and if you ain't healthy and safe, then hopefully this episode is finding you on the mend to whatever it may ail you. And hopefully this brought you some joy for however long this episode ends up being. But in the meantime, stay cool doing that shit. Chill the hell out. Don't let the stresses of the world try to get you down too terribly much, because that shit will drive you crazy. Have fun, y'all. Love, J-Dub. And
We'll see you next weekend. Peace. And